Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I rise to speak in support of the bill, and I note that the Passenger Transport Point-to-Point Transport Services Amendment Bill amends the Passenger Transport Act of 1994 to implement the recommendations arising out of the government's commitments to review the Act and reform the point-to-point passenger transport industry, which includes taxi, chauffeur and rideshare. The bill also seeks to implement elements of the taxi industry support package approved as part of the state budget during the 24-25 financial year. Mr Speaker, on 30th August 2024, the government released the review which made 29 recommendations informed by feedback from industry, customers and other key stakeholders. The review has provided a framework for broad and enduring change designed to make services safer and more reliable while supporting a more sustainable industry. Mr Speaker, it's certainly a truism that change in this industry is required. No doubt this sector has experienced significant challenges, and those challenges are of the new various disruptive type industries and services provided. From safety concerns, fraudulent behaviour and industry participants subject to different requirements, this review in the bill which is before us aims to build a framework to overcome some of these concerns. Mr Speaker, as I said, I do support the bill, and while I do that, and I believe that the bill is well-intentioned and has some sound objectives, I'm not 100% yet convinced that this bill will actually address some of the issues which have been raised in my electorate. And I think it's important to actually raise those concerns. I think, having said that, I'm not sure what can be done, and certainly this bill will certainly provide a foundation for those concerns to be looked at in the future. The greatest concern I have is, Mr Speaker, because the Gawler area was, for better for worse, was put into the metropolitan point-to-point area some time ago by the previous government, and the previous government also allowed one operator to actually be licensed for that area. That certainly did theoretically increase the number of taxis available to the town of Gawler. The problem was that because Gawler was previously under sort of a country model and had local services, they now had to compete with the Adelaide-based services, taxi services, and that in itself is not, competition in itself is not a bad thing. However, what has resulted is that if you like, all the profitable part of the businesses was taken up by the Adelaide-based company, and if you like, the less profitable trips were left to the local services, which in the end meant they couldn't actually make enough money to keep it sustainable. And so my concern is, one of my concerns is that we can open this up to ride share and all other things, but they're the ones who actually like to actually pick and choose the trips they take. And in the end, you'll have a certain number of trips in places like Gawler and other nearby towns where people actually want to take a short trip. It might be from their home to the main street, which may only be a kilometre or two, not a big trip for any taxi driver. However, for that person, it means a difference between where they can actually leave their home and do what they need to do, go to the doctor, go shopping, or whatever the case may be. The Adelaide-based services will not come out there to pick people up. That we will be there though on Friday nights and Saturday nights, all over the place, when the demand is high. Now, unless you in this industry allow some people to have a bit of both, some of those players will just fall out of the market, and some people will be worse off. That's one of the concerns. The other concern is that while I should say it's a very vexed question, because on the one hand, I hear numerous complaints from my electorate regarding access to access cabs. And on the other hand, I understand the government hears from the providers that, they don't have enough business, or etc. Well, certainly in my area, there's a huge amount of demand for access cabs, and I've heard a number of people complain about the access cabs being either late by hours and hours or not turn up. And again, that sort of fits into the model where we can open this industry up, but it doesn't mean in some markets that that they will turn up. And there's a real risk of market failure, and there'll be pockets of people who actually might be worse off under this new model than we're at the moment. I am wrong. I'm hoping by introducing this latest proposal, it would actually provide for greater opportunities for people to be in the marketplace. I'm hoping that, that some of the provisions of this bill to make entry into the marketplace equal for all players will change that. Mr. Speaker, I would actually just seek leave to continue my remarks.